I am done. It's over with. It's time to move on. I am leaving teaching for the district that I'm in. The reason being is limited growth opportunity. I'm gonna give you a scenario. We had a teacher who earned her doctor's degree, doctor's in education, and she is a teacher. Versus the principal of the school has one of them have a bachelor's in education and the other one has a master's in education. We have a principal and assistant principal at my school. How that makes sense, I don't know. But I will tell you, I feel like it's because of who you know, not your qualifications. It's based on who you know. So for years, I have been watching other people being promoted in the educational field that have been getting these promotions, while other teachers who are highly qualified, overly qualified, are being looked over because they just don't know anyone. Some of them may have moved out from another state with these qualifications, and since they're new to the district, they're not known, so they pretty much do not get the job. Why is that concerning to me? It's because I am an educator who always is taking courses, trying to improve what I can bring into the classroom, and hopefully one day I can become a literacy coach or maybe a principal myself. So that's one reason why I'm leaving. Second reason, teacher shortage. I do these videos not to discourage people from not going into the field of education. It is a beautiful blessing to be able to serve people in your community. But the teacher shortage is real, because basically is the pay. You definitely don't get paid what you are worth, that's for sure. But it is rewarding to give back, and I'm all about giving back to my community. A couple of years ago, we had every year we have a teacher shortage, but a couple of years ago, I was about to walk out in the middle of the school year. The principal at that time had us come to the school, get our keys to set up our classroom. She didn't say anything. She didn't say one word. Got my key. Hey, how was your summer? Blah, 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 blah. Set up my classroom, put everything in order. And she said, once you finish setting up your classroom, then you can come and get your roster. Okay, fine. I wanted my roster before setting up my classroom so I could know how many chairs and desks that I needed, but fine, I just do the basics. Set up my classroom, go pick up my roster. 36 first grade students. 36 busy bodies in a small, confined classroom. My first thought, this has to be a joke. I know you're joking. I know you do not expect for me to educate 36 first graders. She said, no, it's not a joke. But this year, you will be getting an assistant to help you. Mind you, every year I normally teach between 25, 26 kids a year without an assistant. But she added on 10 more, so she promised an assistant. Okay, that calmed me down a little bit. That made me pretty much say, okay, I can do this. It's not the kids' fault. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to give it a chance. So I'm teaching. I'm doing my best. She pops in, informal pop-ins. She has some concerns about the students' data chart, because we keep up a tracking in the classroom to show where your kids are. And I basically share with her, you promised me an assistant. The assistance that you promised is never here. And when she is at work, you are pulling her to do other tasks. So where is my help? You are expecting for my benchmark scores to be a certain percentage, but I'm alone with 36 kids. It was myself and another first grade teacher. She had 35 kids. So we both was just stressed. And it got to a point where she said that she wanted to go to the doctor just to get a prescription to handle stress. And I told her if it got to that point, I would definitely pack up my bags and leave. I would go to Kelly Services, temp service, whatever temp service it is. I will be at a temp service before I go get medicated just to keep my job. Just not doing it. Okay, so because of the teacher shortage, I had 36, she had 35. So we had other teachers, teacher assistants who were in college to become teachers. And the state that I am in, you can, as long as you are in college for teacher preparation, you can get an emergency license. Pretty much you will have a mentor. I have mentored many of teachers. You have a mentor to help you, guide you, work with you to get things done, and you are able to teach in your own classroom. So we had maybe, I'll say 5 or 6, I know for sure, who were TAs transitioning to full-time certified teachers. So I brought that to our attention. We have blah, 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 who's in a program, teacher program. She only has 3 months away from finishing her program. Why can't you guys offer her the emergency license and she could teach the kids? I can mentor her versus the other teacher can also help out as well. So we can effectively teach these students that we have, because teaching 36 students, first graders, all busy, attention span is blink of an eye, is outrageous. So she said, oh, I only want to hire certified teachers. I want our school to be an A school. We are a B school. You can do it. Don't be negative. You are doing absolutely fine with your classroom management. I just need you just to work a little harder to get those scores up. So I became highly upset, but I stayed professional. I said, well, this is what I'm going to do. You have until Christmas time to hire another educator, or you can give the teacher assistant who is in school, who will be graduating in December anyhow, but she didn't take all of her teacher exams yet. You can offer her position and give her a chance to study to pass her praxis and teacher exams so she can become certified, or I'm leaving. So she talked to the superintendent of the district. They basically had a meeting with me. What else can we do? Are you upset because you don't have the teacher assistant? We can try to accommodate you by replacing that assistant with another assistant so you can have support in the classroom. Basically, to me, I was feeling like they were just pushing my concerns to the side and thinking I was just playing. Okay, so time is going on. I'm stressed. My co-teacher, she's stressed. We just doing our best every day, putting on a smile for the kids. The kids doesn't have any idea. The parents didn't even have an idea. I had one parent who was asking to bring cupcakes to the school for her daughter's birthday, and when she asked how many cupcakes should she purchase, I said 36. She said, you have 36 5 and 6-year-olds in your classroom. I don't understand how you can do it. I can barely just raise my own kid, and I only have 2. One at the time, her daughter was in the first grade and her son was in the third grade, and she said they was just driving her crazy. So just imagine having 36 busybodies. So after parents base their concerns, well, okay, how do you expect for her to teach 36 students? You guys need to hire somebody. Somebody need to do something. So they explained to the parents it's a teacher shortage. They've been trying to hire certified teachers, and they just haven't been successful. Wish they have had a couple of interviews, but they feel like the teachers that they were interviewing would not be a good fit for the school. Okay. Lack of administration support. Basically, lack of support, like I just mentioned. She basically was concerned about the overall student growth for the school because she was pushing for our school to be an A school instead of a B school. Hey, I'm all for that. I would love to walk around and say, hey, I teach at such and such, such and such. We are an A school. That lets everyone know that those teachers there are certified. They know what they're doing. We got it going on at our school. Would love that. But instead of her listening to my concerns, she basically just was pushing data. She want data. And I basically was saying, I want you to reverse, because she's been a principal for, I know, maybe 20 years. So she's been out of the classroom for a very long time. And I had to explain to her, I said, hey, I need you to go back 20 years ago and picture yourself as a teacher. Put your teaching shoes on, put your teaching hat back on, and think about how would you feel if you was responsible for educating 36 first grade students. And I want you to think on that and get back with me. Guess after she thought about it, she did become a little supportive. She lacked up a little bit on my pop-ins, popping in my classroom, checking my data. And she actually did offer one of the teacher assistants first grade position for the second part of the year. So she was able to start teaching after Christmas break. So that was wonderful. So that was relief. So basically, overcrowded classrooms. Expectations for student growth, I discussed that. Forgetting how it feels to be an educator in a classroom, I just discussed that. Have no idea how it is to teach today. 20 years ago, students were respectful. They either said yes or no, or yes ma'am or no ma'am. They knew how to stay in a child's place. They just was respectful. Their behavior was respectful. Nowadays, we have a whole new creed of students. We have students who does not dress accordingly. They're sagging, inappropriate dressing, or they're wearing extremely tight, revealing clothing. They're not respectful. I have had a former observation in my classroom, and the students respect me more than the principal. If I walk away or I'm busy, and they can say, oh, we can sneak and talk behind her back. But once I turn around and I'm facing them eye to eye, oh, they're quiet. But when she walked in, they just looked at her like, no big deal to me. I don't have to respect her. And when I was in school, it was reverse. Like, I would probably goof off a little bit until my teacher starts saying, okay, you're going to write at recess or you're going to have detention. Then I would get myself together. I guess I'm getting a little back from what I did to my teachers. But when I saw the principal, oh, there was no way that I'd be goofing off, playing. The principal was there. All my silliness, anything that I was doing came to a halt. It's time to be serious and not playing, because I did not want to go to the principal office. So that has changed tremendously. The type of students that you have in the classroom is very different from 20 years ago. 20 years ago, the behaviors that we see now in a general ed classroom is totally different. And I just believe that if you are a principal, then you need to experience teaching for a day or something, because it is different. It's not the same. You can't base observations or base your opinion on how it was when you were a teacher, because these students nowadays are totally different. It's a whole new. It's different. Um, Also, support for general ed teachers. This is a sensitive subject. I am a general ed teacher, and I would say overall in my classroom, I have students who have IEPs and receive special services. Nothing against that, because I have people in my family who has also received special services. But when it gets to the point when half of your students are receiving special services and you don't have an assistant to help you, it's very overwhelming. It's very overwhelming for you as an educator, and it's very overwhelming for the students who are trying to learn and they can't learn because of this disruptions that we are having in the classroom because of some of the behaviors that we are having, because we are servicing students who qualify for special services. Okay. Okay. So I think that's pretty much. When I was talking about student growth, students being prepared for learning. In my state, kindergarten is not a required grade. So therefore, if the student goes to kindergarten and they do not learn their letters, they don't learn how to write, they don't learn their alphabet sounds, it's up to the parent. Well, the teacher will request, hey, I believe that your child should repeat kindergarten. But the parent has the final say so. Some parents will say, oh, no, just pass them on anyhow. It's only kindergarten, no big deal. And some of them would not want to be embarrassed with their family members. Oh, your kid had to repeat kindergarten. It's embarrassing to some parents. So they're like, no, move them on. So since in my state that a teacher cannot retain them based on them not being prepared and ready for first grade, we in first grade see a very large learning gap. So I'm going to show, hopefully you guys can see this. So this is the beginning of the year data. Green means that the student became ready. So this is a percentage of the students who was ready. This yellow is basically the students are one grade level below, and the red is pretty much 2 or more years below grade level. So pretty much the red is pretty much pre-K. They are at a pre-K level in first grade. So that's my beginning of the year. So by the end of the year, this is my data. I'm a very hardworking teacher. I do whatever I can. So if you can see, by the end of the year, half of my students, a little bit over half of my students were or are ready for second grade. I have a little bit of yellow. Basically, they're still at a first grade level. And I have the little bit of red. Pretty much they're still behind 2 years or more. So, of course, the students in the yellow and the red, I am recommending that they repeat first grade. I have some parents who are upset about it. They still want their their child to move on to the next grade. They blame it on me. Oh, you're not a good teacher. But my data speaks for itself. So what the principals look at is your typical growth. And you may not be able to see it, but I just want to show you. But my typical growth for the year is 108%. My when I do my teacher growth plans, I always put it at an 80 or 85% because I feel like I can get those students to show growth of an average of 80-85%. But I guess just with my hard work and dedication, I normally reach 100% of moving the students show growth overall in the classroom. So most my co-teachers, they normally average around, I'll say the lowest, one teacher had about a 68% end of the year growth, and one who was very close to me, hers was it was, I think, 91% typical growth. So with that being said, I go all in for my students because I was a young learner myself, and I can remember when I raised my hand and the teacher would ignore me, would not help me at all. So I struggled a long time with learning how to read because I just was pushed aside as a student. And as a teacher, I always said, no matter what, these babies are here to learn, and you will be the best educator that you can possibly be to teach these young learners. And that's what I do. I do it every day. So, of course, you know, when I told her that I was quitting, she was trying to get me to stay because of this growth, and growth like this is what helps schools turn into A schools. Once I told her no, and I gave her all the reasons that I'm explaining in this video: lack of support, oversized classroom behavior issues, no, it just, you know, everything that I pretty much said in this video. I did not mention the pay because where I live at 30 minutes from my house, I can work for a district that pays $10,000 more than what I'm making now. In the other direction, I could drive 30 minutes and get paid an extra $8,000 increase of my teacher salary. So it was really not based on the salary. Of course, I want to get paid for my work, but it was more so that I wanted to find somewhere where it felt like home. If you're spending between 8 and 10 hours at your workplace, you want to be comfortable. That's just like your second home. So I stayed for a long time because I built relationships with the students and their families, but I have had enough. I just have had enough. So I told her I would not be returning. She tried to send the assistant principal in, He basically was trying to say, what can we do? And I just told him, you know, I've been here 5 years. I have had enough. It's time for me to fly. It's time for me to go. And that's what I'm doing. I am interviewing for a teaching position. I think I have one pretty much. I have not signed a contract yet, but I'm pretty much is aiming for another school. So I'm not leaving the profession altogether, but I am leaving the district and the school that I am. I would never return to that district again. Well, they would have to change a whole lot of things for me. I don't want to say never, but they would have to change a whole lot of things for me to even reconsider going back to that district. So again, I make these videos for teachers to be aware, just bring awareness of the educational profession, for parents to be knowledgeable about what's going on. You know, if you are a parent, you watching this video, know how many students are in your child's classroom. If it's, look for the state teacher to student ratio. If the ratio is 24 students per one teacher, and if that classroom has 26, then you need to be talking to the Board of Education or talking to the principal, talking to someone and say, okay, what are you guys about to do about this? Is this teacher receiving the support that they need? Because the overall goal for teachers and parents is to make sure that the student is learning, receiving the best education that he or she can receive. So again, I do not put these videos out to discourage anyone from entering into the profession. It's the most rewarding profession it is from my point of view. I love what I do. It's just everything else that is included that make you just want to rethink it sometimes. So I'm going to give it another shot at another district, another school, under another superintendent, and continue to watch my content to see, you know, what's new and what's going on. Like, subscribe, and return to the channel. Thanks for watching.